You believe that you're a badass? That's the question. And that and many more questions are going to be answered on today's Party Over Here.
Welcome to the Midday Meltdown Party Over Here with J&J Video.
When we're happy and all in love with ourselves, we can't be bothered with the bullshit, our own or other people's. Imagine what our world would be like if everyone loved themselves so much that they weren't threatened by other people's opinions or skin color.
You have to tap into your inner badass, okay? Because we all have that badass inside of us. If you're not living vicariously through your badass, you are letting life go by. And let me tell you. Welcome. Today, we are going to basically pick up where we left off yesterday with You Are a Badass. We're going to be listening to Jen Sincero. And we're pretty much going to pick up where we left off yesterday. I think we were about an hour and 20 minutes in. So shout out to Self-Made. What's up, my brother? Shout out to DZ. Hey, DZ, I would have answered the call, but it was, it was crunch time, my brother. I'll hit you up. But guys, at 12:30, what I'm going to do every day on these streams is we are going to have an after party. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that if you want to come up and discuss what we've listened to, if you want to offer any opinions on another subject that you think is maybe a mental issue that you would love to discuss, i.e. Danilla and the baby, because I don't know what happened to you, bro, last night, but we was all waiting. Anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm going to get you for that. But yeah, feel free to pop on here at 12:30 and we can talk about it because I'm sure something involving that situation ties into something that we're going to hear. So I'm excited. Hopefully you are too. And let's get started with the next portion that we were listening to. By the way, before we even get started with that, please take your shoes off. This is not the Lit House, but it is new media. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. And please share if you care on all forms of social media.
Once we figure out what ours are and decide to live our lives.
She said every person is born with unique gifts.
Only when the real party begins. Living a life on purpose is available to everyone. So if you're struggling or settling or completely confused about what you're supposed to do with your life, know that the answer is already here. It exists, and so does a life you can't wait to create. You just need to get some clarity first. There are entire books written on finding your calling, some of the best of which I share in the resources section on my website, www.jensincero.com. But the following are a few of my favorite tips. Keep in mind there's no right way to go about this. Everyone's journey is unique, but we're all trying to get to the same place. The place where we feel happiest, the most alive, and the most like ourselves. Even if you've nailed the perfect career for yourself, listen on because these tips can help you in all areas of your life. How to get clear on who you are and what your calling is. 1. Be the alien. Imagine that you're an alien floating around in outer space, and you suddenly swoop down to Earth and inhabit your own body. As the alien, everything about this life is new to you. You look around. What do you see? What is this person who you've inhabited so obviously awesome at? What do they have the most fun doing? What connections do they have? What resources and opportunities are available to them? As the alien, to whom everything is new and exciting, there's nothing at risk and no pal around.
Choking on my coffee here.
Incredible new life you step into. How are you going to use this new body and this existence to create something fabulous and awesome starting right now? This exercise is hugely helpful for getting a new perspective and step.
Hey, DZ, so guess what, man? We switched from 7-Eleven coffee, Jen and I, to McCafe. So she ordered McCafe. The actual bags of the McCafe. Dunkin' Donuts everybody sells their coffee. If you're a coffee shop, you're stupid if you're not selling your coffee in the supermarket as well, because everybody's not going to come to Starbucks and pay $10 for a cup of coffee. Let's face it. So Jen ordered a bag of decaf, which is, I'm already wired enough, so I drink decaf. And you can hear how I sound on decaf. Imagine if the shit have caffeine, okay? Yeah, I had to stop doing that. I was getting jittery. So she ordered a bag of McCafe for her, regular, and a bag of decaf. And I have my own coffee in the house. We got the little baby coffee maker. It's so cute. Love it.
Stepping outside are boring ass ruts of tired old excuses and lame habits. It can also be very useful in making you aware of all the staggering possibilities and resources that you have at your fingertips and take for granted or do not see.
Facts.
Sometimes it's as simple as looking at.
I have a coffee maker at my fingertips now.
Fortunate we are. Be the alien for 24 hours and see what you come up with. 2, take the first right step. Instead of wasting hours and days and years trying to figure out your perfect next move, just do something already.
I know that's right.
Oh, the time we waste rolling ideas around in our heads, imagining what ifs, coming up with the perfect reasons why, and then the perfect reason.
Love audiobooks. By me being legally blind and I can no longer read books like I used to, audiobooks became my thing. Hence, I think the universe did this. I really do. So I figured, you know what? I'm into live streaming now. Shout out to Rev and King Fuse Lit. Shout out to DKM being on this side of the pond, baby. Woo! And we will be doing, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Mozart and I will be hosting the game on DKM's channel tonight. The Hornets, versus who? The Wizards, isn't it? Woo! That's going to be a good game, Joel Embiid. Man, I'm telling you, he going to spank the shit out of whoever is trying to guard him, okay? I mean, either way you look at it, we don't have anybody. And I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get off in the basketball, but it's kind of like a passion these days. But come on. Can we pull it out, guys? Can we pull it out? Can we pull out a win against the Wizards? If we did it against the Clippers, Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, we can do it against the Wizards. The Wizards aren't that bad, okay? And I'm hoping I got the right team, too. But anywho, what the hell was I talking about? Yeah, whatever I was talking about. I got off on a tangent. Oh, okay, yeah. So we're doing that game tonight, but oh man, I lost my train of thought. See, I need more coffee.
Reasons why not. Tearing at our cuticles, making our friends and family
without caffeine
screen their calls in case it's us again, wanting to go over some ideas.
That's what it was.
Action.
I've had an epiphany. That's what it was. So I decided to get off my ass and listen to some of these awesome audiobooks that I found with my friends and family. And this is fantastic. By the way, I'm going to try to earn a living at this. So the Cash App is going to be on the screen in just a few minutes. The link will be in the description of this video. I can drop the link in the chat if you want, but donate to a sister so I can keep this thing going. Don't have to be much. I know we're not all rich, and I know we're still kind of pandemicing things out. Couple dollars here, couple dollars there. Hey guys, it all adds up and it is much appreciated. So yeah, I decided to make this thing and I can be consistent with it because I like doing it.
You don't have to know where it's going to take you. You just need to start with one thing that feels right and keep following right feeling things and see where they lead.
Facts!
Most answers reveal themselves through doing, not thinking. When I discovered my calling as a coach, I was, ironically, in the midst of a lifelong obsession with figuring out what the hell my purpose was. While I always knew writing was part of it, I also knew I wasn't meant to spend my life locked away in a silent room, alone and half crazed, wrestle words into submission. I wanted something that A, involved inner people, B, helped people in some sort of direct way, C, was really fun, and D, forced me to bathe, dress, and leave my house. That's about all I had to go on. That and my intense desire to figure it out. So when a friend told me I should check out a women's entrepreneurial think tank group that had just started up, I figured I'd go. All supposed to bring a project to work on, but I had nothing, just the hope that I'd get some ideas from something someone else brought to the table. After sitting there for 4 hours watching this room full of women figure out what they love to do and turn their brilliant ideas into businesses or grow the businesses they already had, I still had no project of my own, but I did know what I wanted to do. I went up and asked the facilitator if she needed any help, which she did. She hired me, and I started leading these groups, which, after a few years, led to me starting my own coaching practice, which led to me working with clients all over the world, which led to me sitting in the studio recording this book. No matter how clueless you may feel right now, pay attention to suggestions and opportunities that suddenly present themselves, and notice how you feel. Is there something for you that, for whatever reason, feels like it might be good to check out? What have you been saying forever that you'd love to do? Has somebody mentioned a course or a teacher or a book that keeps sticking in your mind? Take the first step in the direction towards something that feels right and see where it leads you. And do it now. 3, do your best wherever you're at. Once you take this first step, it's possible that you won't land in your dream situation right away. You might land on a stepping stone. It could be an awesome stepping stone, or it could be kind of a stepping stone. But no matter where your first step lands you, if you...
Wow, Easy, your theme song just came on, brother. Man, there's this cool jazz, I'm telling you, jazz, trap, acid jazz. If you guys listen to jazz at all, they have this one thing that has a bunch of these cool ass jazz songs on there. And then I found out the name of this song is called Flossie, which makes sense. I mean, you can kind of see, somebody chilling on a rooftop with a cocktail, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a pretty cool channel. Shout out to DZ from DZ's Late Night Lounge. Shout out to Self-Made Sicario. Shout out to Ball Don't Lie Podcast. I see you, my brother.
Appreciate wherever you're at instead of feeling ashamed or grouchy or impatient about it. Everything you do along your journey contributes to where you're going. Let's say you've decided that you're going to go after your fantasy of being a rock star, and you take a job waiting tables so you have the flexibility to travel and play gigs and go into the studio. Clearly, your calling is playing music, not being concerned that some whiny customer's French onion soup is allegedly too cold, but it's essential that you care anyway. Having a good attitude and being grateful for all the things that are helping you live the life of your dreams will not only make your life a more pleasant place to be and get you bigger tips, but it will also raise your frequency and attract the people and opportunities to you that will take you in the direction you want to go. This is where being really present in the moment comes in handy. Granted, you may not be on stage in front of thousands doing a split in the air, but remember that you are going for it. You are bravely moving towards your dream. You are surrounded by unthinkable miracles and opportunities. Lean back, relax, and be grateful that you're living on purpose, that you're hanging out in a high frequency, and that everything you need is zooming towards you.
I am hanging out in a high frequency right now. Not the high freak thing.
Whose life makes you...
I'm high on life, man.
What things are people doing that you would love to do too? Who do you think is the coolest person? You need to invent your ideal life from scratch. You just need to make you feel alive. So if what someone else is doing sparks your interest, take this. It could mean that your calling has something in common with theirs. Get specific about the things in their lives that turn you on. Is it the fact that they get to travel the world, have a solid routine, or that they have no routine? Is it that they work alone? That they work...
How about all of the...
that I needed not only to focus on making money, but that
I tried to pause her. Should not be paused. Okay, go ahead, bitch.
This is when the self-book started infiltrating my house, and the name tags assumed their mandatory and humiliating post above my left boob. Eventually, I took my credit card debts to unthinkable heights by forking over more money than I'd paid for all my janky cars put together and hired my first coach. Within the first 6 months, I tripled my income with an online business that I created around coaching writers. And now I've grown it to a place where it affords me the means and the luxury to travel the world freely while I write, speak, play music, and coach people in all areas of their lives, using many of the concepts I used to so enjoy rolling my eyes at and with which I am now obsessed. In an attempt to get you where you want to go to, I'm going to ask you to roll with some pretty out there things throughout this book. And I want to encourage you to have an open mind. No, on second thought, I want to yell in your face about it. Stay open or else you are screwed. I mean it. This is really important. You've gotten to where you are right now by doing whatever it is you're doing. So if you're less than impressed with your current situation, you clearly need to change things up. If you want to live a life you've never lived, you have to do things you've never done.
That's it.
I don't care how big a loser you may or may not perceive yourself to be right now.
Lizzie with the L on my head.
This book and the money to buy it puts you way ahead of the game. This isn't something to feel guilty or whiny or superior about, but it is something to appreciate. And should you make the decision to really go for it, know that you are extremely well poised to knock it out of the park and share your awesomeness with the world. Because that's really what this is all about. We need smart people with huge hearts and creative minds to manifest resources and support they need to make their difference in the world. We need people to feel happy and fulfilled and loved, so they don't take their shit out on other people and the planet and our animal friends.
I know that's right. However,
surrounded by people who radiate self-love and abundance.
I don't know if YouTube is possessed or what, but somehow the book went back to the beginning. So I fact that I started this at 1 minute and 29 seconds. So we're going to jump up here to say, let's see here. 136. Let's just pop in there. We need to move forward with this thing, not backwards. We got other books to get to.
Read magazines and talk to as many people as you can. Hang out in places where people who share your interests hang out. Put yourself out there, and you never know what you might learn that will inform you of your next move, or whom you might meet who will present you with your
That's
next
where we left
opportunity.
off. Right.
5, don't get caught up in the Thunderbolt hype. I think one of the most paralyzing missions is that we're all supposed to have one true calling that comes to us in a mighty flash of soul-defining insight. While there are those people who've always known exactly what they want to do, there are a hell of a lot more of us out there who spend most of our lives, if not all of our lives, wandering around looking under rocks and behind trees for who we are. Let yourself off the hook if you don't have that one big, perfect thing that you know you came here to do. Same goes for finding the one big, perfect soulmate, by the way.
That's right. You
And
will
feel
work
good
your
about
way
the fact that
into
you'll
it.
probably fulfill several callings throughout your life.
It'll happen.
Possibly relationships.
It'll
If
happen.
you think about it, it makes much more sense to evolve as you age anyway. When I think about who I was in my 20s compared to who I am now, I can't imagine anything more than going after some of the things that resonated with me back then. Follow what feels good in the moment, every moment, and it will lead you through a most excellent life.
Facts.
6, listen to your intuition. If you really want to get in touch with who you are and what you love to do, and who you love to do it with, dedicate some time to tuning into your intuition. One of the best ways to do this is to spend 5 minutes of quiet by yourself every day. We spend the vast majority of our time moving at full speed ahead, both physically and mentally, and literally bulldoze over the very aching because...
Hey, listen. Okay, so I'm sorry for starting the stream a little late, but she is absolutely right. I was determined to get yoga in today, okay? And I didn't start it until 11:05, so it was a quick session, but nevertheless, I got it in. You have to take those few minutes. Even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes where you're not doing jack shit, you're not listening to anything, not an audiobook, not an audio look, nothing, absolute silence. If you have to go in the shitter to get that private time, do it. Get 15 minutes to yourself each day where you are nothing but presently focusing consciously on the moment that you're in. Feel the air around you, smell the air, run water on your face, whatever you need to do to just be in the moment. Don't have thoughts. Don't think about anything. Okay. Just relax, take a couple of really deep breaths because that'll help the body and the mind relax, and just sit there for 15 minutes in complete silence. If you do that once or twice a day, you would be surprised at the amazing effects it ultimately will have on your health.
Because they can't be heard above the din. When you sit quietly and ask, you get an answer. Eventually, stick with it. Be patient and wait to hear from your inner guidance.
Talk to
them,
all
sis.
The
answers you need. You just need to give them the chance to get through to you.
And it does it in those moments.
7, follow your fantasies. Now that I've given you all the kinder, gentler ways to figure yourself out, I'm going to suggest something you're probably not going to like so much. Jump into the deep end and follow your fantasies. What do you fantasize about when you're staring out the window of a train, or before you go to sleep at night, or when you're pretending to listen to someone really boring talk your ear off? Are you on stage doing stand-up comedy in front of thousands of hysterical? Are you surrounded by your beautiful children in the coziest, happiest home ever? Are you being celebrated for building orphanages around the world? Do this exercise as if money weren't an issue. Tap into what brings you great joy instead of what you think you need to do to survive. If you had an unlimited supply of cash, what would you spend your life doing? Our fantasies are the most revealing peepholes into who we are and what we think is awesome. No matter how out there and ridiculous they may seem, they mean something to us and usually represent our biggest.
Good exercise. Do me a favor. If you're in the chat, or even if you're not, join the chat. Shout out to Queen Royalty. Love you, girl. Yeah, you like that? I purposely did this so that you and Jen would have a lunch break to be able to join in. It fits inside. It starts before your lunch break and it ends after your lunch break. You see what I did there? Yeah. But what would you do if you had all the money that you could ever want? Throw the answers in the chat for me. I'm curious to see. Me, I don't know. I know one thing. I would start trying to help clean up the environment. I would definitely dedicate some money to cleaning up the oceans. I'm a water sign, so I love the oceans. I would definitely, there's a couple of places that clean up the oceans that I would donate to. Clean up some of the parks, the environment, help with some disaster areas that are rebuilding. The normal noble shit, help some hungry families. I would do a lot of random acts of kindness. Don't want you to know it's me. Just wanted to help. A lot of random acts of kindness. In fact, I think I'll start a nonprofit called Random Acts of Kindness.
And best versions of ourselves. Our fantasies are our realities in an excuse-free world. Meanwhile, we'd all be mortified if anyone could read our minds just in the act. I know, it's totally stupid. I want to sing on Broadway. Well, is it really stupid? Someone's out there doing it, so why couldn't you? Much of the time, we pretend we aren't clear on what our calling is, when what's really going on is that we're horrified to face it because it seems too big or too impossible to make a living at, or completely out of the question for us. But what if you had the audacity to leave your excuses and your shame about wanting to be huge and fabulous behind and really went for it full on anyway? What if you decided to do the most outrageous, most exciting thing you ever dared fantasize about, regardless of what anyone, including your terrified self, thought? That would be living. 8, love yourself like you're the only you there. Chapter 9, Loincloth Man. It's better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. André Gide, French author, Nobel Prize winner, fearless self-explorer. Every May, I go backpacking through the desert wilderness areas of southeast Utah with 2 longtime friends of mine. It's one of the most magnificent and bizarre places I've ever been. Giant, jagged, obscenely pink ridges of rock jut out of the ground like huge slabs of raw meat.
I would love it.
White, yellow, and purple towers of sandstone stretch and twist into sculptures made of taffy. Deep cracks in the earth's surface form cathedral-like slot canyons, whose walls, over from flash floods and sandstorms, change colors from moment to moment as the sun's rays shift through the narrow opening high above.
Well, I see why she's a writer.
It's like the moon, only cooler. We merrily tripped.
Nothing is cooler than the moon, okay?
Colorful rocks, climbing around on boulders, and arguing over which eagle or snake or mountain goat should be awarded Creature of the Day.
I'm a moon child.
Because my friends are such excellent navigators, we go deep into the wilderness areas, where there are no trails and even fewer people. In the 16 years we've been hiking out there, we could practice the people we've bumped into while backpacking on one hand. Which was why I was so surprised and dubious when my friend Tom, who'd gone ahead to find us a place to set up camp for the night, reported that he'd seen someone. "I just met this really wild guy," he said when I caught up with him. He was wearing nothing but a loincloth and a headband. He was holding a spear, too. Said he'd been living in the canyon for 13 years. Was he riding a magic dragon? I'm serious. So where is he? He went off to check his squirrel trap, but he could come back. Tom is a lousy liar. And wherever he was taking this joke, he wasn't getting to the punchline fast enough. So I put down my pack and started assembling my tent, only half listening to him. A few minutes into it, as I was bending over to hammer in one of my stakes, I looked through my legs and saw a pair of tanned feet in homemade sandals, strong, naked legs, and a dead squirrel dangling by its tail from a fist. I stood up, spun around, and there he was, Loincloth Man. What Tom didn't mention was that Loincloth Man was totally hot. He was somewhere in his late 30s, had a ripped, lean, savagely tanned bod, and shaggy brown hair with a matching beard. He fit the part perfectly. Modern-day Tarzan, slayer of buffalo and ladies alike. Which, stunning as he was, instantly made him a little bit suspect in my mind. That and the fact that his loincloth was impeccably tailored and appeared to be made out of soft Italian leather, not some ratty canyon rabbit. Would you mind handing that to me so I can have a close, please? His whole deal was just a little too cliche. Couldn't he have just worn shorts? And was he really going to eat that squirrel? Still, we gathered around him like a baby pig at the state fair, awestruck by our luck. This time, there was no argument. We had clearly found our Creature of the Day. He was real friendly and answered all of our questions at a slow, deliberate pace, explaining that this, several of the neighboring canyon systems, were where he made his home. He told us very matter-of-factly that he found modern society unnecessarily complicated and misguided, so much so that he preferred to live on only what nature provided him, storing his grain in the winter and sleeping in a cave. The thing that struck me more than the fact that he cut his hair with a sharp rock, and probably wasn't wearing any undies, was that he was totally unapologetic. There we all were, shifting around, feeling suddenly ridiculous in our expensive hiking boots and UV-protected clothing, while he described how it took him weeks to whittle the bow and arrow he used to kill the deer whose hides now serve as his bedspread. Good for him,
Shut up, self-made Sicario. Okay, so check this out. You know you can buy an island for like 1.5 mil. You got people that are paying for houses that win the lottery. He said, I would buy... Wait a minute, hold on. You're back to it. He said he would buy all the islands that he could, basically. And islands you can find nice little islands, dude, for under $1 million, to be honest with you. I was surprised. Try watching Island Hunters on HGTV. Man, I'm telling you, when we get that dough one day, we're going to buy a couple islands, bruh. We'll have some retreats. You know what I mean? People can just get away and just smoke all day. You feel me? Nah. DZ. He said, buy land and build a trade school. That's pretty cool. Loving it, loving it. People can learn how to have a career. Hey, listen, teach them how to code, DZ. Self-made said, build a media and art center for the kids. All right now. All with different talents all over the country and the world. Nice. I love it. I love it. We here! Yeah, baby! out to Tap Into Love for Hoop Culture. Guys, go subscribe to his channel. He is the brother with the voice. You know DKM in town, right? Oh, it's all good, brother. I'm glad. Better late than never. Better late than never. I'm sure Rev is going to hit you up. He already told me. For a couple. We're not going to do that many because, DKM don't really rock with a whole bunch of that. But, yeah, glad to have you, bro.
As I watched him walk away, swinging his squirrel like a purse, he wasn't worrying about what he should be doing or what he was missing out on or what some chick from L is fancy crotch belt. He was just happy being true to himself, in the moment, in the middle. I want to be like Loincloth Man. Love yourself, no matter who you really are. Part
That's
3.
Right.
How to tap into the mother load. Chapter 10.
Did she just say tap? Tap! You came at the right time, brother. She talking about tapping.
Meditation 101. You are never alone or helpless. The force that guides the stars guides you too. Sri Sri Anandamurti, Indian philosopher, social revolutionary, author. Meditation, otherwise known as sitting still and thinking about nothing, is one of those things that can be just as stupidly simple as it is surprisingly hard. It reminds me of those contests where a bunch of people stand around a brand new car or truck, and whoever...
He likes the voice. Not the 900 voice, but the voice.
Leaves their hands on it the longest gets to take it home. The winner winds up on the front page of her local paper, victorious and sleepy, smiling from behind the wheel of her newly won ride with a thumbs up for the camera. Tarrytown's very own Jill Boonder was the proud winner of the 2012 Chevy Standoff, held in Green Bay, Wisconsin this past weekend. Jill beat
You didn't hear who I said was here?
out 68 other contestants from around the country by standing for 103 hours and 9 minutes in the Home Depot parking lot with her hands placed with unyielding determination on the hood of what would soon be her new Chevy Silverado. I'm so excited I won, she said. There was some stiff competition, some folks who I thought would never back down, but I really brought my A game.
I hope I didn't let the cat out of the bag, but I'm just so excited about that. My bad, fellas.
Meditation, the simplicity is equally misleading. That's all I have to do to connect with source energy? Sit there and do nothing? It can't be
Normally that's not my MO, but I'm stoked!
that easy. Well, it is. And it's not. Which is why it's called a meditation practice. When you shut up and meditate for even 5 minutes and start to really notice the thoughts that are swirling around in your brain, it's rather
scary.
If you're like most people, the majority of your thoughts are about as valuable and interesting as a bunch of 2-year-olds fighting over a sippy cup. The goal is to quiet your mind of the chatter so you can connect to source and listen to your inner guidance. I'm going to give you the breakdown on how to meditate, but first I want to recommend that you start small and work your way up. Try meditating for 5 to 10 minutes each day at first and add on time as you get less squirmy. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. No amount of time, no correct things to feel, no rules about how you have to sit or where you have to do it. All that matters is that you do it if you want to massively improve your life. It's like drinking lots of water or exercising regularly or not bad-mouthing other people. You don't have to do it, and the temptation to blow it off is extremely large. But if you make a habit of it, not only will you start to crave it, but your entire life will change. Because when we meditate, we practice getting into the vortex, connecting.
It's 12:09. Do you know where Queen Royalty is?
To source energy, which automatically brings us into the present moment, raises our frequency, opens us up to receive information and ideas, relaxes us, relieves stress, strengthens our intuition and ability to focus, allows us to hear our inner voice more clearly, fills us with light and love, puts us in a good mood, helps us love ourselves. Meditating and being in the vortex is like riding the airstream of awesomeness.
Yes, it is.
Here are the extremely short and simple steps of some different ways to meditate. Basic meditation. Sit in a comfortable cross-legged position on the floor or in a chair with your hands on your knees or in your lap. Sit up straight and relax your entire face, especially your jaw and your forehead. Close your eyes, or if it helps you focus and not fall asleep, keep them open and gaze softly at a spot on the ground a couple feet in front of you. Focus on your breathing. Notice it moving in and out of your body. You don't have to breathe in any special way, just focus on it.
Deep breaths are
Gently
better.
release any thoughts that come into your brain and refocus on your breathing. Keep your mind as clear and empty as possible and listen for intuitive hits that may or may not come through. Ta-da! That's it. Options and suggestions. 1. Set a timer. You've got enough distracting thoughts without checking the clock to see how long you've been at it every 30 seconds. 2. Light a candle and focus on it.
Savage? You have no idea. Thanks for the compliment, Soph.
Sometimes having a place to rest your eyes can help you get centered and in the zone. Sit and face a candle that you place on the floor in front of you while you meditate and see if that works for you. 3. Imagine a bright beam of light shooting down from the sky, shining in through the top of your head, running through your entire body, out your bottom, and up to the sky again, so that it makes a complete circle. I sometimes find this easier to focus on than the ever-popular breath method. Plus, it's energy and light and makes me feel more deeply connected to source energy. 4.
I'm connected right now.
Sometimes when the squirrels in my head are particularly active, I bring in a mantra to chase them out. I repeat a word or a phrase in my mind like love, or thank you, or yes please, or om. Something that makes me feel good and is fairly neutral. But you could use a mantra like meatloaf, I guess, if that's your thing. 5.
Okay, so Dauchsy Meditations. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Excellent source for meditative affirmations. I listen to it a lot when I'm sleeping. He's got them for healing, for losing weight, for making money. I mean, anything you want, they're designed to listen to while you're sleeping. And they work.
Try and meditate first thing in the morning so you're not distracted by whatever the day brings. Your conscious mind will be more quiet, having just woken up from sleeping. 6. If there's something in your life that you're working on or through, you can set an intention or ask for help during your meditation practice. Meditating is about receiving information from the universe. Setting intentions and praying are about sending information out to the universe. There are 2 ways you can do this. A, start with a question, something like, how do I deal with my pain in the ass teenage son? And see what, if any, answers download while you meditate. Or B, meditate first, open up the channel, clear out the chatter, and then ask your question in a space of clarity and connection and see what, if anything, comes to you. Guided meditation. There are countless CDs and DVDs that various hippies and guru types have made over the years to walk you through meditations. I suggest taking the guided route when you're first starting out if you're having trouble wrangling your mind into submission. They make great training wheels, and I still use them occasionally, especially if I want to focus on something specific. There are also guided meditation centers all over the place, and it's really nice every once in a while to meditate in a group. You can really feed off that energy and get the discipline to sit there for an extended period of time. Do a search for meditation centers and ashrams in your area. Sometimes yoga studios hold guided meditations too. Chanting. Chanting is also a great way to get into a meditation. Repeat a mantra over and over on your own, or if you prefer to avoid getting busted and very possibly ridiculed, you can do it in a group by attending a kirtan meditation class. Kirtan meditation involves call and response chanting of Sanskrit mantras or devotional songs, and you can attend classes at a yoga studio or a meditation center. Also check out Transcendental Meditation Instruction, a form that involves repeating mantras and sitting twice a day for around 20 minutes at a time.
Om Mani
I've had
Padme
some pretty
Om.
profound experiences while meditating. I felt walls melt around me,
Om.
felt like I was levitating, and have experienced such a state of euphoria that it almost hurt.
I mean, really, it's
I've
like
also
getting
had
high without
extremely
weed.
profound experiences. I've fallen asleep, spent the entire time squirming and thinking about what to make for lunch. and
When
have
you
been totally in the
when you
zone,
get it right.
and then realized I was in the zone and thought, awesome, I'm in the zone, thereby pulling myself out of the zone. The important thing is that you keep showing up. Even if you're only in the zone for one collective minute out of the 30 minutes you've been sitting there, it will eventually start making a notable difference in your life.
Yeah, she get better at it.
I think meditation is even more essential now that we have all this technology at our fingertips and distraction has become a way of life. While I truly believe that we, as a species, are becoming more and more conscious, I'm amazed by how, at the same time, our attention spans are rapidly shrinking. I was playing tennis the other day with someone who got a text, pulled out his phone, and checked it in the middle of a point.
Oh, damn.
It's astonishing that we can still speak in full sentences. Aside from being one of the most powerful tools in our consciousness-raising toolbox, meditation is a much-needed respite from the madness and will help us from becoming a bunch of scatterbrained ding-dongs as we zoom around our brave and extremely exciting new world.
Scatterbrained ding-dong.
Your brain is your bitch.
Oh!
Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes. The tool of thought and shaping what he wills brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret. And
Whoa. Hold on, Jen. Girl. We gotta stop, right? Your brain is your bitch. Did she go there? Make your brain your bitch. That is the phrase of the mother effing week. Make your brain your bitch. You don't let your thoughts control you. You control your thoughts, damn it.
And it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. James Allen, old-timey author, self-help pontificator. How often do you stop and notice how genius our universe is? With all its moving parts and mathematical perfection and chemical reactions and food chains and gravity and all the magnificent efficiency and complexity that makes it up? This display of astonishing brilliance didn't just splat down into beingness by random, dumb luck. It was thought up. Nature is a smoothly running machine created by a universal intelligence where nothing goes to waste. It all has a place and a purpose, and it all works together in its intricately interwoven and compatible way to create the flabbergasting isness of it all. In other words, source energy is a smarty pants. As British philosophical writer and self-help pioneer James Allen states in the quote that opens this chapter, "Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. We are the very thinking substance that was used to create us." Hello? How major is that? This is why positive thinking is all the rage and negative subconscious beliefs are so gnarly, and why meditation and learning to guide your thoughts and love yourself can change your life.
Nice.
Our thoughts are the most powerful tools we've got.
She getting into some good shit now.
Therefore, I can create awesomeness or horrendousness. But the bottom line is that it's through our thoughts that we create our realities.
Talk to him.
It's also why buying into whatever illusion you're living in the present moment is selling yourself so short if it's anything less than what you truly desire. You created the reality you now exist in with your thoughts, which means you can use the very same power of thought to change it. As Wallace Wattles, author of The Science of Getting Rich, so brilliantly states, to think what you want to think is to think the truth, regardless of appearances. To think what you want to think is to think the truth. Is that not the best news ever?
That's
it doesn't
some
matter
shit.
What your reality looks like at the moment, because where you desire to be is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Hey.
And if you fixate your mind on this, believe that it is real and already here, and take decisive action, it will manifest itself. This is where most people dig in their heels and say something like, I am sitting in my ghetto-ass kitchen eating tuna out of a can with a plastic spoon, and you're telling me this isn't the truth? You're saying that the truth is that I'm hanging poolside with the President of the United States of America? If you truly desire to hang poolside with the President of the United States of America and are hell-bent in your mind and your actions to create it, it's the truth.
There you go.
Have you ever noticed how a bunch of people can go through the same course? Let's say a class on how to start your own coaching business. And they all get the same exact information and tools, but some will come out of there and totally rock it, and others will fall flat on their faces. Even if they all have the same desire to succeed, create beautiful marketing material, and do similar things, it's the ones with the proper methods who will succeed.
That's right.
The ones who kick ass are the ones who can see themselves kicking ass. who truly believe in themselves and what they're selling.
That's huge. If you can't picture it, listen, it's called imagination. Okay? You know how to do this. This is not rocket science, guys. It's called use your fucking imagination. When you use your imagination and you have feeling behind it, you manifest whatever you're imagining. I've done it. It works. The time is almost 12:30. I will be dropping the link in the chat if anybody wants to get on here and have a after party on what we've listened to today.
Who remind themselves how much they want to better people's lives with their coaching, excited to get compensated for selling it, and have no limiting subconscious beliefs holding them back.
Hashtag party over here. Hashtag ear party.
The ones who feel weird or worry that they're being pushy and annoying, or who subconsciously believe that they don't deserve to or can't succeed, they're not going to do so good. Your thoughts and beliefs dictate your reality. So if you want to change your reality, you have to change your beliefs. The problem is that most people are real protective of their beliefs and are usually fairly crotchety should you suggest that perhaps there's another version of the truth. I'm bad at sales. I have terrible luck. I'm scared of flying. Marriages don't last. I have ugly feet. I'm broke. Are you calling me a liar? Do you see a hot boyfriend on my arm? No, you don't. You see a cat on my lap next to my needlepoint project because I stink at relationships. That's the truth, and that has always been the truth. And that will be your truth as long as you choose to think it.
Talk to him.
As long as you feed the beast, it shall live. The moment you have the audacity to start believing in the not yet seen, your reality will begin to shift. The following is hugely important, so please pay very close attention. You have to change your thinking first, and then the evidence appears. Our big mistake is that we do it the other way around. We demand to see the evidence before we believe it to be true. Remember, everything you desire is right here, right now.
She getting deep today, y'all.
You just have to shift your perception in order to see it made manifest.
That's right.
Okay, fine. I believe that I'm hanging poolside with the President of the United States of America. Now what? Do I just call or show up at the White House in my flip towel around my neck? When you take the leap and believe in the not yet seen, you aren't supposed to know how to make it happen. Because if you knew how, you probably would have done it already. This is about radically changing your reality. So the way to go about it is also most likely outside of your present awareness. Your job isn't to know the how, it's to know the what and to be open to discovering and receiving the how. Keep your thoughts directed at your goal. Do everything that you do know how to do to make it happen. Decide with unwavering conviction that it will happen.
Chip away at it.
Look out for the opportunity. I had a client who went to Tuscany and looked at a house that was for sale while she was there. At the time, she was a bartender and a poet and could barely scrape together the money to buy a plane ticket to Italy, let alone buy a Tuscan villa. But she checked it out anyway and completely fell in love with the place. While she instantly knew in her soul that it was her house, she also knew that her bank account had tumbleweeds blowing through it, but she asked the owners to take it off the market anyway because she was going to figure out a way to buy it. So she flies home in a stupor, thinking that perhaps she's gone completely insane. But she sticks to her guns and starts asking around for help. She is almost immediately buried beneath a pile of warnings from everyone around her. It's a huge responsibility, not to mention all the complications that come with being in another country. And last time I checked, you don't speak Italian, nor are you a citizen, nor do you know a single thing about home ownership. And considering you can't even afford to get your teeth cleaned,
Kobe spoke Italian.
Paying a mortgage and yada, 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 yada. Yet, she keeps on going because in spite of all the evidence otherwise, she believes this is house.
Kobe spoke Italian. I was impressed.
This is her truth. Finally, someone mentions the idea of pre-renting blocks of time in the house to raise the money to buy it. People could pay her for their time a year in advance. She would just need to sell enough blocks of time to pay for the house, and voila! Cut to her discovering this sort of thing is illegal, going back to the drawing board, trying a million other things, discovering that it's actually not illegal, then pre-selling enough rental slots and borrowing some money, and to make a very long and upsy-downsy story short, she's owned the villa for several years and is thinking about buying another. You have got to get a handle on your thoughts if you want to change your life.
Nice.
As Albert Einstein so aptly noted, the world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Here are some tried and true ways to show your brain who's driving the bus. 1. Ask and it is given. Get quiet, get in the zone, and get in touch with source energy. Clear out the chatter in your brain and create a clean, uncluttered space to impress the thoughts of what you want into the giant thinking substance that is source energy. Ask for what you want, send out a nice, clear message in a nice, clear space, and begin the manifestation process. 2. Act as if. If you want something badly, even if you don't have any evidence that it's possible for you to attain, believe it is anyway. Fake it until you make it. Do it in spite of yourself. Act as if. If you have an intense, undying desire to hang poolside with the President of the United States of America, think about the things that a person hanging poolside with the leader of the free world would do. Go pick out the bathing suit you're going to wear. Think of what you're going to talk about. Get your photos of your trip to the Grand Canyon together to show the commander-in-chief. Get ready for the event. Tell yourself it's happening. Act like it's happening. Put yourself in situations where you will meet people who can make this happen. Stay wide open to opportunities that can lead you to your goal. Live, eat, sleep, and breathe your vision. You may feel like a crazy person, but you won't when you're playing Marco Polo with the Prez. 3. Upgrade your environment. If you aspire to have a more up-leveled and inspiring lifestyle than you presently have, and you're actively visualizing this for yourself, it's going to be quite the struggle to keep your thoughts large and in charge if every time you pull up to your rickety-ass home, you hear the Sanford & Son theme song in your head. So even though you're going to be thinking and imagining the change before it happens, do what you can to make some upgrades to where you're at now. Give the place a paint job and clean it up. Furniture or fix up what you already have. Throw out the clutter. Let some air in. Hang and art on the walls. This will not only help you to keep your frequency high, but it will alert the universe that you're not screwing around, that you're doing everything you can and are waiting for further instruction on the how. 4. Make a vision board. Our minds think in images. If someone says, a horse wearing red lipstick, you instantly create a picture in your mind of a horse wearing red lipstick. Feeding your mind full of images of the things and experiences that you want to manifest. Your dream house with the infinity pool in Mexico, rolling around on the beach with your red hot lava, volunteering to help little kids learn how to read at your local library, laughing your face off surrounded by dear friends, is hugely powerful because your mind sends that image out to source energy, which begins the process of pulling it in. Cut out pictures of places, people, things, and experiences that you want in your life. Paste them onto a board and hang it somewhere where you'll see it all day long. I've seen people have completely insane results with this. They've manifested down to the tiniest details, the exact home or furniture or place of employment that they put on their boards. It's freaky deaky and super easy. It's like having a craft day with God. Give it a shot. 5. Surround yourself the way you want to think. When you're out with whiners, pessimists, tweakers, bleakers, freaker-outers, and life is so unfairers, it's an uphill climb to keep yourself in a positive headspace. Stay away from people with tiny minds and tiny thoughts and start hanging out with people who see limitless possibility as the reality. Surround yourself with people who act on their big ideas, who take action on making positive change in the world, and who see nothing as out of their reach. Make a conscious choice to do this. And if you don't know anyone who's got a big fat mind, go out and make some new friends. You stop at, there's no one like that around here. That will be the truth, and that will set the wimpy tone for how you go about trying to manifest everything else into your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Get out there and find some people who make you feel like you can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Be clear on whom you want to meet and make a concerted effort to go meet them. Demand of the universe to connect you with them. Think of places where they might hang out or things they would do and insert yourself there. Being inspired, visionary, enthusiastic people who are living their truths is one of the fastest ways to massively transform your life. 6. Love yourself, unless you have a better idea. Chapter 12. Lead with your crotch. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few.
And we're going to leave it at that.
Shunryu Suzuki, Japanese Zen monk, author, Tito, lovingly known as the. I know.
Okay, so yeah, let me go ahead and all right. That was some good shit today. I liked it. Okay, so there is the link for the stream. It has been dropped in the chat. If anybody wants to come up and discuss what we listened to today or any other topic that has been on your mind, then feel free to do so. This is the after party. Feel free to join a sister on stage. All right. Hey, D, what's happening, honey?
Hey sis, how you doing? You alright?
I'm good. Good to have you on. What did you think about what we heard today?
Man, a lot of gems were dropped on this one. I truly enjoyed it, and shout out to you, sis, for bringing this lovely soul food on the table, today.
Hey, you are welcome, my brother. You are welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you for enjoying the soul food.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, certainly. I mean, she talked about a lot of good things, especially, I laughed at the part where you said, make your brain your bitch. But
what about that, right?
Exactly. No, but it's so true. It rings true to our ears. How it's so important to make sure we take ownership of our destiny, pretty much, or our lives and everything. And I like the fact that she kind of said that don't look for blame everywhere else, and kind of take accountability for your life, for your future. You pretty much have the ability to you know to make sure that you are taking control of
Yes.
of your present life. So because a lot of times I mean, even in situations where we're clearly not the ones to blame, it's easy to look at everybody else and everything and not be like, how could I have changed the situation? How could I have avoided these situations? You know what I mean? And
Right.
um, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but that segues into that date, the baby, and
Danily.
anyway, yeah,
Well,
situation.
the original baby mama is coming forth now and defending herself. I like the way she came out and said, listen, I'm not the type to be typing back and forth on the internet. If you want to talk to me, come see me.
Exactly.
So,
And
so enlighten the audience. What's happening with the baby and Danily?
well, from what I was able to gather, he called the police on her. They were having a domestic. He didn't do anything to her physically, but they were having, um, you know, like a few disagreements and everything. Um, don't know exactly the internal details of what they were talking about, but he pretty much kicked her off his house. He called the police on her and everything because she was getting
Wow.
pretty aggressive towards him. Um, My thing is when I look at the
That's
situation.
a role reversal, right? Normally when it's a domestic violence call, it's being called on the male and not
Man,
the
yeah,
female. So yeah, that's definitely something different.
yeah. I mean, I like that, the fact that as a man you can do that, but
That's right.
that
You have every right to, just like we
have it
do.
exactly just like a woman do. But situations like this can turn left very quickly, because I'm not sure if you've heard it, but Kwame Brown brought this situation to light a few weeks ago when a black man called the police, because his wife at the time was had a knife through his neck while her son was watching him.
Hmm.
Uh, and when the police came through, um, guess who they went first to?
Him.
Yeah, even though his life was being threatened by
Mm.
the woman, and it was very clear that she was actually, going to hurt him, and everything, and she was positioned to do that, and the police shot him. He
Shout
ended.
out to Queen Royalty. I
Yeah,
see you over there, sis.
shout out to Queen, man. Um, the police shot him, and he ended up losing his life. And
What?
guess where she was taken? She wasn't taken to the police station. She was taken to a mental institution.
Wow. So she got away with it.
Way with it, and now the kid has no father, no mother. And if you look at the backstory of their relationship, it's very unfortunate that he had to go away like that. Because backstory is that she was very abusive to him, but he kept the marriage for the kid. That is a lesson, and which is why it's perfect conversation that we're having about the baby and Daniel A. That's perfect because right now, um, we can. It's the lesson should be you do not stay in abusive relationships. Do if they're really all toxic relationships, if you just want to term it as that.
Hey,
Uh,
well, check this out. The original topic of the show is dealing with your mind. And this is all an issue of the mind. If you're going to let your spouse or your significant other control your destiny and manifest things in your life that you don't want, that's something that you have to remove yourself from.
that's right.
Okay. It's all one big bag of shit. Okay. Let's just call it, it is what it is.
Right.
Dana Lee and the baby, the story with the husband and the wife, it's all manifestation. It's all stuff that they allowed to happen. To your point, unfortunately, that man lost his life because he allowed that situation to continue.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? So it's all learning how to get your mind under control and manifest what the hell you actually want in your life. You
Exactly.
feel me?
Exactly. And exactly. And you mentioned great points because in situations like this, you got to look at both situations, at the man and the woman. That
Mhm.
that do decide to stay in that toxic relationship and everything. Now, if you can work things out and get better, that's a different story. But if
Right.
things don't get better and things are still toxic, then it's your decision to leave because
It's up to you to get out of it.
it's up to you to get out of it. And if you want to look at because everybody is obviously saying, we're living in now in an era right now where now it's expected for women to take responsibility as well. But a lot of people are, I'm looking at it in this way. Daniel A, she decided also to stay in that relationship. The baby, what type of man
Right.
he is. What type of man he is. He has a baby mama already. You were pretty much looked as the side piece, but you decided to stay with him and have a baby by him. You know, you get what you get. You know what I mean? You
You
get
know
what.
something? Do
Yeah,
you have you ever heard of the show 90 Day Fiance?
yeah, I
Okay, so there's a couple on there named Pedro and Chantel that live in the A.
yeah, I know them. Yep.
You know Pedro and Chantel. Okay, so it was
Disrespect.
on. Yeah, it was on Pedro and Chantel the other day
Yeah,
where Chantel questioned Pedro because Pedro's trying to find his father and wants to know, why did you leave our family? Me, mom, and sis, why did you leave? And it's coming out in the wash. He said, yeah, dad would come around and mom would make us go to bed. He had a whole nother family. He was a married man. And Chantel was like, well, Pedro, did your mom know that he had a family somewhere else? And Pedro was starting to get offended. Like, so what do you mean? My mom was a side chick? Hell yeah.
yeah, she was.
What else do you think? He started you and I hate to say it, Pedro, love you to death, my brother, but you're a bastard child. He had you out of wedlock. You are the side piece's children
Yeah,
that she had no business having. She was trying to pull that man from his family, and I'm not blaming her because he had no business stepping out on his marriage. But Pedro is now trying to hold him accountable. And hey, it's his right. He did not ask to come here, but it's the same situation.
the same situation. Yep,
She
yep.
allowed herself to be the side piece, and she had some kids, thinking that was going to change him and move him from his family, and it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, a lot of these. That's why a lot of women are attracted to, or and men too, but a lot of women are attracted to the Pookie and Ray Ray guy because they feel like they can change that Pookie and Ray Ray. Unfortunately, you can change that Pookie and Ray Ray.
I
Oh,
love
tired.
the name.
Yeah, exactly. You can't change him. Um, why not settle for the guy that is the complete package? You know,
Absolutely.
that is respectful to you, that is not going to take your nonsense, but somebody that can you respect, somebody that actually has everything on the table, and it is bringing something to the table. You bring something to the table as well. Somebody that you can actually complement yourself with. It's very important. Why will you go for somebody that is not going to offer you much on the table? Somebody that is quote unquote a thug, somebody that is going to end up leaving you for somebody else,
Right.
and you feel like you can change such a person. I'm sorry, man. It's just I have to look at you, and blame you as well. And like a person like Daniel, I have to blame her at the end of the day, because yes, you put yourself in that situation, and unfortunately, you get ended up getting kicked out, and somebody like the baby, you put yourself in that situation as well. You make the choices of who you make. You gotta make the right choices of the type of woman that you are allowing. You are obviously, you know,
That you're laying down with and having kids with and
exactly,
allowing to go on social media. Shout out to the queen. She says nobody should touch nobody. And men should get the same compassion that women get when things are the other way.
exactly,
Facts.
exactly, exactly.
Facts.
And shout out to Queen Royalty. She said it's just nobody should touch anybody, and the same the same energy has to go towards man too. But we've seen too many times, like I told you the story, when man call the police, and the man is the one, the abused man is the one that is at the back seat of the police car.
Hmm.
Too many times, and it has to stop. You know what I mean? I hope this story is a change narrative. Unfortunately for this story is that it involves two people that are toxic to each other.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate part. If it had to be one person that wasn't toxic, the other one was toxic, then I would have been like, okay, cool. But we live in a society where it's glorified to go for the person that does not have per se their life together. Yeah, the baby, he is a rich guy, he's a superstar, pop star, whatever you want to call it. Rapper, has all the money. But does that build your character? No. That hasn't changed him per se.
Money only adds to who you already are as a person. It's just gonna
Exactly.
make you more of that same type of character.
Exactly. So for me, I definitely, implore people, every one of us, just like you said, Sister JJ, it's in our power to control our destiny. It's in our power to make sure that the decisions that we take, you know, are going to obviously, get us, get us to the right path, and the people that you surround yourself with, like she said, are very important. You know, um, you not only with the relationship that you have or the marriage that you have, but try to. And sister, you live that sort of life. Try to have a few people around you. Don't have too many. Don't try to play the whole "I'm popular" game. You know,
Hmm.
it's not worth it. It really
Right.
is. Just having a few people around you, people that you can trust, you know, that you can trust and that they trust you, and you have a lovely bond with them. That's really what matters at the end of the day. You know, I live my life like a loner out here, and I like it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's it. And learn to be comfortable with yourself. Learn to be happy with yourself, because from experience, when you're not comfortable with yourself, you start caring too much about what people think about you, and that can kill.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
You know,
learn to.
it sounds like I keep hearing somebody trying to come on the chat. If you're trying to come on the chat, let me know and I can send you a link directly because I'm hearing the noise, but I'm not seeing anybody down here backstage. So if you're trying to get on the chat, just let me know in the chat and I'll go ahead and send you a link directly. But go ahead, DZ.
Yeah, no, yes, no problems. This might be my Mac too, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. I was saying pretty much like learn to feel comfortable with yourself, and because when you're not comfortable with yourself from experience, you're not you're going to care too much about what people think about you. What people say about you. That can
Absolutely.
kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can
Yep.
mentally drain you. Like, oh man, why is this person saying this about me? Why is this person saying that about me? And then you start creating narratives and stories in your mind and all that. You pretty much think that everybody hates you. That is definitely unhealthy. And, but when you feel comfortable with yourself and you're happy with yourself and your surroundings, your situation, you don't have time to think about what that person thinks about you. You're really like in your own element, and you're only focused on what your priorities, your purpose, anything, every everything that has to do with you. And whoever you allow in your life, you decide to allow them in your life, and you have your own criterias and everything of who you're involved. It's totally your choice. You're not forced to bring anybody else that is not that's going to disrupt your peace. Which is important. So yeah, I think those situations you can learn a lot from. We can all learn a lot from. Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. Well,
yeah,
thank you, DZ, for coming on. I'm so glad that you joined the panel. And everybody, we're going to be on here every day, 11:30 with Party Over Here. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're feeling the vibe, and share if you care on all forms of social media. And if you have the wherewithal, the Cash App will be in the description of the video. It's also in the link. It also link is in the chat. Shout out to the entire New Media gang. We will be streaming the Hornets game tonight on DKM's channel. I believe it will be Mozart and myself hosting. Anybody is welcome. DZ, if you want to come on there, I'm sure Rev won't have a problem with it. That'll be awesome.
no
Um,
problem.
but we're going to be doing the game tonight. Shout out to Tapping the Love for Hoop Culture. Go subscribe to that brother's channel. Shout out to Selfmade Sicario. Brother, thank you for joining the chat today as well. Shout out to him and subscribe to his channel. Shout out to Ball Don't Lie Podcast. Shout out to JJ Vegan Knowledge. I know you're at work. Shout out to Queen Royalty, my sister. Thank you for joining us on your lunch break. DZ, you got any parting words before we get out of here, my brother?
No, thank you so much, Sister JJ, for this lovely.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all go like and subscribe to her channel. J&J video, man. She brings a fire content every single day. So versatile. One of the most talented, sisters out here, man, doing
Oh, thank you.
it.
I think you're talented as well, my brother. Open panel every day at 12:30. Feel free to come up and give your opinions on what we've talked about, or if it's anything that you want to talk about. Hashtag party over here, spelled HEAR, and hashtag ear party, and we out.
Been listening to the Midday Meltdown Party Over Here with J&J Video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, and please share if you care on all forms of social media. You can support the content on this channel by donating to the Cash App link that's been provided in the description of this video. Thanks again for listening. Peace and blessings.